It is Championship Sunday on the KLPGA Tour, the fourth and final round of the 48th KLPGA Championship, live from Fortune Hills Country Club in Pocheon. And what a wonderful sight to see blue skies for the first time this week, after a third round that was heavily impacted by a lightning and otherwise inclement weather delay. It looks like the ideal set of conditions for today's final round. You'll still see plenty of umbrellas, but that's for the sun and for the heat. And heat is a pretty good way of describing where we sit heading into the home stretch of this second major championship of the season. You would have just seen 7 under and co-leader Sogyo Reem, after shooting a 69 yesterday, is 3 over after 8 holes and is sharing the lead with Kim Min-sol. Hot on their heels is this fantastic athlete, Ko Chi-yu. She's at 6 under even for the day, along with Kim Min-ju. Lee Sung-yeon and Chae Reem are both up 9 spots into a tie for 5th, along with Chung So-lee. Yu So-yeon 2, Han Chin-sun, Pang Min-ji, Chae Bin, Pei So-hyun, and Park Hae-jun tied for 8th, the 6 of them at 4 under par. The course is incredibly challenging today, as you would expect. Championship conditions. The greens, they'll play as fast as they have been all week. The pins are in some pretty tough to reach places. No Sung-yi at 4 under par, up to a tie for 22nd. That's the best score of the day thus far. A lot of evens and, heck, a lot of black numbers as well into the plus. We are competing for this $1.5 billion purse. 270 million will be the number on the check presented to the winner, along with the beautiful championship trophy and a green jacket. My name is Adam Jenkins. That's everything you need to know as we get underway. 3 hours to the finish line, unless, of course, we need a playoff hole, which who's to say is not going to be the case. It is tight, and it is very dramatic on this Sunday. As earlier this week, we've had a couple of very impressive hole outs for Eagle. Kim Min-sol would love that outcome. 58-degree wedge, 76 meters away. Looking to restore her advantage. She goes just above the pin with some backspin. It rolls onto the line oh so sweetly. Let's head over to 11. Moon Jung-min, 4 birdie and 3 under par. She wills it to stay on line to the left. And after 10 holes of patiently waiting, she finally has a birdie on the afternoon. Just short of the green, a long pitch, and it needs to roll up into the back corner, elevated. Lee Sung-yeon, a putt for 5 under, right to left break. She walks it in. She birdied the second hole of the Garden course. She birdies the second hole of the Palace course as well. Tied for 5th at 5 under. Pang Min-ji on the prowl and only 3 strokes behind the leaders. Sunday is typically when she has done her most impressive work in her very accomplished career. Does she have enough in the tank? Does she have enough runway left to make a proper push for the title. So Gilream just inside of the fringe on 8, starting this beneath the hole. Doesn't really move much either direction, on or off the line. It kind of stayed exactly where it started. This is a tricky one. Pei So-hyun needs this or she bogeys. There's always going to be a high degree of difficulty from that distance back. Quick reset, and she drops to 4 under. Started with a birdie, ends the front 9 with a bogey. It's an even 36 at the turn. Lands softly, deep, and in the center of the green. She'll be putting back towards the widest left portion of the putting surface. Peng Min-ji rolls in that par. Birdies at 2 and 3, bogeys at 5 and 8. It's a 36 for her as well after 9 holes on Sunday. Kim Min-ju even. This is a tough one at 8. Should go left to right at the end. That's exactly what it does. But that amount of break takes her away. And she will settle for par. Chung So-hee missing the fairway with her first. Her shot from the rough. Kim Min-sol to take the outright lead. She'd go to 8 under after 8. Another putt that will move inside out, left to right, and loops around, and in very dramatic fashion has her first birdie of the round and takes the outright lead. Seven iron for Coach Yu here. She is off the mark. Buries that out into the rough behind the green. That is an excitable roar, and understandably so. Jae-Reem. Second time today she has birdied a par 3, and she's gone to a tie for 3rd. And she is showing no signs of slowing down. Beside her name, number 1. Kim Min-sol, a drive. Right down the center of the fairway. Both she and Sogyo Reem, number 1 and number 2, born in 2006. Trying to add their name to one of the most acclaimed collections on the KLPGA Tour. And suddenly for Coach Yu, a putt to save par. Hardly more than a yard. Bogey 6, birdie 8, 36 at the midway mark of this final round. And Jian with her first birdie of the round. Back to even par, the same score from which she began the day. Chung So-Yi from the other side of the country, it will feel like a long way off, and she still snags a piece of the cup. Pops out the other side, however. So Gurim, along with our leader right now, already a winner 3 times this season. The kids are all right. They have truly been 2 of the top stars of the tour in 2026. It feels very fitting that they are the ones who are going to have the biggest say as to how this tournament finishes. Sangana, unfortunately, is limping towards the finish line. It's a 72-hole competition. You need to be at your best all weekend long. It is really difficult. It's not supposed to be easy, especially at a major. And Jin Sun is not going to stay at 4 under as she misses that short putt for par. Understandably frustrated as she marches off the green. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we are playing for today. The beautiful winner's trophy. Get your name etched on both that piece of silverware and into the Korean golfing history books. Some esteemed company. Kim Min-ju, 168 meters, will play even longer since she starts that in the rough. She is able to find the green. Will she stay on it? Yes is the answer. It's not quite pin high, but it's a pretty good shot from that lie. A lot of grass to travel. Felt inevitable that it was going to take more than one putt. So Gilream's 7-iron is the selection. Her approach from the fairway. Well, that will be just about exactly pin high. She goes a little bit longer than her group mates. Moon Jung-mi next at 12. And looking good. What a putt. Back to back now for Moon Jung-min. Tied for 7th at 4 under par. Let's see how our leader fares, where she sets up. Let's call it the green ring, just outside the bullseye for 25 points. Not quite perfect, but a worthy score. And understandably, big crowds with the sun out and the stars performing. Golf fans in this country, I can't imagine anywhere else they'd like to be this week. Fortune Hills Country Club, a new venue for this 48th KLPGA Championship. She's able to avoid the sand and stops on that crescent of fringe separating the green from the traps.
Shot.
Drive up the hillsides and onto the fairway. Okay, so then 2 meters of elevation change. That's almost completely negligible. She's the only one in the threesome to be putting definitively. The others will have an option to pitch or putt. Chung Soo-hee, first of 5 here at number 10. She never lacks for power off the tee. Sometimes her placement is left wanting a little more. That's the case here as she ends up off the fairway right. At 13 meters nearly, Kim Min-joo. Gave this a really good go, even at the last moment. Moved back online, just ran out of speed. It's an even 36, pars on every hole on the way out. Just running out of speed the last few revolutions. So Gilrean, a difficult opening 9 with 3 bogeys, no birds, 39 at the turn. Electing to putt from the fringe by Minji, and that moved a bit quicker than she was expecting. Actually picked up a little speed past the hole as she reached a bit of a downslope. Call over there as well, but a bit too much lateral action. Kim Sol, it's a 35. It was an opportunity to make it a 2-stroke lead, but halfway to the finish line, she'll have to settle for 1. Well, here's how things are shaping up with everyone at least 50% of the way through their final rounds. It's Kim Sol, a 35 at the turn. She has a 1-stroke advantage over Sogyo Reem at +3. Chae Reem 3 under through 11. She is into a tie for third with Ko Chi-yu and Kim Min-ju, both even after 9. Anyone really on the front 2 pages in with a shot, though they're going to have to pick up the speed to try to keep pace with Kim Min-sol, our leader at the 48th KLPGA Championship. Sunday afternoon in Pochon, and we are perfectly on schedule. Isn't that a nice, refreshing sentiment after the chaos of yesterday and the ill-timed weather? We've had 3 days under overcast and rainy skies, blue skies today, and the sun will set on this tournament. Someone will be holding the trophy in about 2 hours' time. Che Reem, she's in with a shot, down by 2. She's going to need a little bit of back nine magic to pull this one out. Here's Che Bun, putting from the border of the fringe, uphill for birdie. She's able to make that one stick. It's a good bounce back from a double at 9. Approaching from the left side of the fairway, perfect position to land. Using the wedge, you're able to really fire some darts, and she delivers when it mattered the most. There's Yu-Hyun Jo. This will move ever so slightly. That's a fairly straight putt. Kept the flag in and was rewarded for it with her first birdie. So go to T7. Well, it's a very interesting back nine. We begin with this 574-yard, 525-meter par 5. It's one of 3 par 5s on the Palace course, 10, 13, and 18. We also have 3 par 3s, 11, 14, and 16. It's an even split. We usually see 5 par 4s, a pair of 5s, and a pair of 3s. Makes it a little more dynamic. I'm sure the nerves have already arrived, and they will only increase in their veracity and intensity the closer she gets to hoisting the major championship. Interesting where these different players make up their strokes. See, she's not the longest driver, only averaging 220 yards. But the precision where it matters, average distance to the pin, and the amount of greens in regulation, that tells the biggest story in the journey of her tournament so far. Has the rare distinction of being a little too long, but it's a fairly straight shot back up to the pin for birdie at the par 3. Away goes our featured group. 3 tee shots completed. It will leave the 10th tee in the rear view mirror. Pairing up from the bottom of the hill towards the next tee shot at the par 3. This is short and in the middle. It's going to be a big putt required for the next. Tiniest of taps required on this code to finish out. Chung So-Lee needs this to avoid bogey. Oh, that was as dramatic as it could get. That is relief written all over her face. That did a full 360-degree loop around the cup before ultimately going down. Ju. Next shot on the par 5. She's off the fairway. Missing to the left. Hear the shock from the supporters, and now everyone's hustling to get a look at where that one ended up. That was certainly an odd one, off the toe of the club and making a beeline towards the trees. Gaming Soul 265 has the door opened a little bit wider for her. Temporarily step away from 10 and join Peso Hyun on the 11. 11.5 as she puts back towards the left corner, and against all probabilities has found an incredibly long birdie. Her second of the round returns her to the spot hot on the heels of our leader. Fire lit under her chase. Yoo-Hyun Jo onto the green. She is not quite the furthest from the pin. One missed short, that missed long. Much closer for Peng Min-ji, only 3 meters exactly, but plenty of break. She's read it divinely though. 3 birdies for Peng Min-ji. She goes T6. I'm going to be honest, it's been just long enough since we've seen her competing for a major on Sunday that I didn't really consider her to be a big threat heading into the weekend. Serves me right for doubting one of the greatest of all time on this tour. Never a sight you want to see if you're in the final group on Sunday. A drop as that second shot went lost into the trees. The other members in her group patiently waiting for it will be shot 4. Shot 3, beg your pardon. So Gurim going off the tee into the trees, took the penalty. Now the third shot, 154 meters. And she has not made the situation much easier on herself, short of the green and in the sand trap. Six iron for Coach Yu on the 11th tee. She's on with some work to do. Hyun Jo underhits her look at birdie. That's what will be left to save par.
플레이하겠습니다. 조용히 해주세요.
This is Kim Min-ju from the rough, looking down at the green. Not the most straightforward attack plan on this par 5, but she is putting. Cheban. Back-to-back birdies now after the double bogey to start the back 9. She returns to the top 10. She's putt well today. June was hoping to land a little softer than that, even get it higher up with the tee shot. It's okay though. And that is one that will be positively perplexing. A missed opportunity. And a drop for Hankyung. Kim Sol has needed to be patient. Nearly 500 yards eaten up by the first two shots. 87 meters with the wedge over the sand, attacking the pin. Landing at about 6 meters shy and rolling slightly further forward towards target. So her tee shot at 11. In that same 5 to 7 meter radius, that's more than sufficient. Birdie from Moon Jung-min. She is the hottest player on the course right now. Back to back to back, and in the blink of an eye, seemingly, she's up to 5 under par. Bae So-hyun is out pin seeking. Maybe she would have preferred to green seek instead. Needed to be long to avoid the downhill. That's a good perspective of it, just how much it slopes to the back. So we'll expect some conservative strokes there. Not though. I don't think it was too much club, but it might have been too big of a swing. So Gil-reem, after the drop into the sand, nearly chipping in from the bunker. Now the ball needs to stop. That will be her putt to try to avoid bogey. And 51 for Peng Min-ji. Can she keep this great run going? She's a 3-time major champion and a 20-time winner on the tour, Peng Min-ji. Turned pro a decade ago, hard to believe. This is looking very promising. Died off at the very end, unfortunately. It was tracking well. .6 for Kim Min-ju up the hill. Back down towards the left corner. There's always going to be 2 putts. And she doesn't have much left for number 2. Right on the money. An excellent birdie for Chung Zoe. Birdied 2 and birdied 2 on the back 9. We've seen that pattern a couple of times today. That'll give her a boost. Kim In-sol, can she reach 9 under with this putt? Just off. Good news for the chasing pack. Park June also with a close call, but also not going to be able to secure birdie here. Pae So-hyun in the thick rough, gently lifts it up, places it down on the green, trying to let the downslope and gravity do some of the heavy lifting. Jae Ream short after 3. This is 13 meters from the fringe. Pitching wedge as she drills it into the hillside. That was well designed and well executed. So-Gyu Ream can't hang on. A very, very razor thin line, and unfortunately for her, kicks off at the end, and that is her 4th bogey from 10 under down to 6 under par. The wheels have fallen off a bit on the major finale. Park Bo-gyeom tiptoeing all the way there. Slow and steady. Second birdie of the round and first since hold number 2. She returns to 4 under. Little to do with that putt for par. Well done. Pang Min-ji, back-to-back birdies, and that is the fist pump that we have grown so accustomed to seeing. Don't look now, but here she comes. 2 off Kim Min-sol, unless this putt is missed, and then it would be completely wide open. Of course, she wasn't to be swayed from the line there. But it is an increasingly large number of players waiting for any misstep and trying to take advantage. Kochiu is even par. After 11 holes, this her tee shot at number 12. Will just kick off the fairway into the rough to the right beyond the cart path. Acknowledging the supporters after the par is finalized. And we'll head back to 12. Left to right breaking putts. Stayed a bit too straight for too long.
카메라 소리 안내 부탁드립니다. 네, 알겠습니다. 카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Ten holes down, 8 to play for Kim Min-sol. 7-iron here at the par 3. Right back to her incredibly successful ways. Times you see it, it stays impressive. Unable to keep that on the green, rolls onto the fringe. From the rough with the second on the par 4, and because of that, she wasn't quite able to manage the approach the way she would have wanted to. She is in the right corner, or the left corner, I suppose. The correct corner, let's say that, at 11. 2 good tee shots and 1 slightly above average. Well, after nearly an hour, we are no closer to knowing who will lift that trophy by the end of the afternoon. One of the most pleasant surprises, the rounds so far of Chae Reem and Peng Min-ji, 3 and 2 under respectively through 13 and 12. They, along with Ko Chi-yu, Kim Min-ju, and Sogyo Reem, still within 2 strokes of Kim Min-sol, our leader at 8 under par at the end of our first hour on Sunday, the 48th KLPGA Championship. It is 2 o'clock local time in Pochun. Hour 2. And our final round coverage begins. Successful putts, preserving the score, and now this. Ko Chiu buried the highest lofted club she has in her bag. She gets underneath the golf ball, pops it up, and rolls it down over half the distance to the pin. Just going to run out of revolutions. It's a really good attempt. Just a bit too much left to right break. Speed was perfect. And it's a birdie for Jay Bun, back to back to back, 3 in a row. She's had 2 of those spells today now. They've each come in the first 4 holes of the front and back nines. Minji. That's not the outcome she needed, and so much speed as it rolls up the hill on the other side. That will take birdie off the table for her this time around. That pin high, very precise approach shot. Where will this go? Almost the perfect spot, opportunity to putt or chip from there, and about 5 meters away. Moon Jung-min tries to bounce that through the rough, but too thick. It works as an appropriately effective moat defending the green.
앞에 멈춰주세요. 빨리 가주세요. 빨리 가주세요. 카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Kim Min-sol, 11 holes down. 7 holes to go. At the par 4 12th that she has parred each and every day this week. .223 meters of carry off the tee. And that looks perfect. Just a fraction missing left, otherwise the pin would have dropped that down for a hole out from the rough. .220 meters of carry with the next tee shot at 11. That one finds the rough. No dice on the long putt. She'll have less than a meter to finish the hole out. There's Peng Min-ji. I'll tell you what, she makes this. And the tournament really would have been on. Just showing how much control she has right now. Has been putting exquisitely so. Just one player up the hill. 224 the final number, 226 beg your pardon, the carry. She also though ends up in the rough with a slight fade off the tee blocks. So again, this is shot number 4 at the 13th. And needed that to avoid really getting herself into some trouble. Taking a big cut out of the fairway, just a short iron into the wavy last runway before the green. Sending that to the valley on the front third of the green. Coach Yu, 292, grabs the wood out the bag. Second shot on the par 5. Advances without incident. And from the rough just to the right of the fairway, that is a bounding ball. None of the speed absorbed from the green. That is screaming all the way to the back fringe. Kimi Ju in an almost identical position. 6-iron for her, 148 is the distance. And she will join her partner up in the hillside rough. Short, simple finish. Going to be trying to have her spirits lifted by the vocal gallery that is crowding the Palace course here at Fortune Hills. No change to the leaderboard, just as we were 15 minutes ago. We'll step aside and be back with more as our fourth round coverage, of the BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship continues. Welcome back to Fortune Hills. Really tough pin placement, as you would expect on a Sunday of a major championship. Front left corner of the green with a thick rough right in front of it. It is a test of wits. From the rough, we find Kim Min-ju off the back. Now that's rolling with tempo. She was aggressive and went for it. And give her full credit for that. Coach Yu now from the fairway, staring down towards the pin. Lands that on the fringe, slips to the border of the rough. And she's mostly disguised behind the bush. I'm sure that affects her view of the green as well. If that was the case, it didn't show. Sogyo Reem putting for birdie, 14 meters. That's got some zip to it as well. And works that to a wonderful position. 10 centimeters or so, maybe 20, to the right of the pin. That will be an easy par. Hung Min-ji on the 14th tee, 6-iron on this 164-meter par 3. It is the shortest of the three on the back nine, the second shortest hole of the 18 on the course. Rejoin our leader Kim Min-sol on the 12th green. That was a very odd putt, wasn't it? It seemed to wiggle. It wobbled off the line and lost all of its speed in the process. Hankyung is the next to tee off on the par 3. Just beyond the shadow of the flag. It's not a bad initial attempt. Short putt from Kim Min-sol leaves her vulnerable here. She needs this to avoid a bogey. Championship's not on the line, but it will make her job much more difficult if her lead is reduced to 1. And she was worried as soon as that left the putter. She was not confident. It is a bogey for the first time today. 2/3 of the round complete. And she has returned to the score that she began the round at. Her lead is now just 1. Softly sits up front right corner of the green in the fringe. Not exactly where she wanted it. Her reaction reinforces that thought. Kim Min-ju only 1.7 meters for par. Will keep her within 1 after our leader's bogey. And she has missed as well. We're not the most sure-footed at the top of the leaderboard right now, are we? It's the first hole where she has done anything other than par. Tough one to try to get up and down. That's not a pitch either. That's a proper, not a chip, beg your pardon. That's a proper pitch, needing to get underneath it. Jay Ream to, I'm not even sure we can call that half a meter. He was right at it. Short tap in the rest of the way. We'll go to 13. Coach Yu. Another little pitch from the green side rough. An excellent look. Speed was judged to utter perfection. Started that from off the green, and she has just a little tap in to finish. Similar result, though that putt originated on the green. Chung So-hee on another bogey. It's a subdued, understandable reaction as she exits the green. Starting the par 5 13th with a hair drip down into the fairway. Kim In-sol still the leader, though that number is dwindling in terms of a cushion. She's just one stroke above the 4 closest to her, and I'm wondering if that rattled her confidence a little bit. You couldn't fault her if that's the case, but she is on some unstable ground at the minute. Does that open the door for Peng Min-ji and the rest of the chasing pack? You'd have to think so. It's a par for her, keeping herself there or thereabouts. She is not far off An incredible story developing. Kim Min-ju, her bogey takes her down to 5 under. That's now a tie for 4th position. Also unable to stay in the fairway. Well, an update on what's happening on the Dream Tour. The 3 in the system. Well, of course, there's the Senior Tour as well. There's always something exciting happening. Some big scores, some future stars. This is the immediate feeder tour. The most recent event wrapping up on Thursday from Rainbow Hills.
사실 너무 많이 준비를 했고 또 할 수 있을 거라고 계속 생각을 하고 있었어가지고 그렇게 막 사실 아직 실감 안 나는 것 같아요. 네.
Fifteenth rounds of the feeder tour. All those graduates one day be making this walk on Sunday at the KLPGA Championship. That's the plan. That's why the infrastructure exists. Have to think too that with our 20-year-olds pacing the pack 5 or 6 years ago, even just achieving the jump tour would have been a dream. J.A. Ream, her tee shots. Once again on the par 3, rolls through the fringe and onto the green. Kim Min-ju cuts that back into the fairway. Hops, skips, and rolls back in regulation. Peng Min-ji, first of 4 at the 15th. Uneventful as she'd hope. Second shot on the par 5. Bogyam. Furious drive into the fairway. Kim Min-sol, 279 meters. Second shot with the 5 woods. What an absolute stunner of a Sunday this day has developed into. Like clouds painted by an artist's hand. A little bit of shade, too, to keep the ferocious sun away. Here's Coach Yu, 6-iron. All the way to the back. On by a fraction. Reem to move level with the challengers, but it's 20.6 meters away. It would take something remarkable. Well, that's 15 meters taken care of. 16 and just about 17 as she sets herself up for a par. Chung Soo-hee next to attack this par 3. That almost level. It's been very hard for the players to find the balance between club and the amount of swing. We've seen many run to the rear and many more zip out into the tall grass. Now Kim Min-ju, only 134 meters left. Placed incredibly well. Some proper precision. She'll be putting for birdie. Looks back to her caddy, looking for answers. She's not going to find them. So-Gyo Reem, 99 meters. She has a similar curious outcome. Okay, Pug Min-ji. Second shot onto the green. It's an unlikely but still possible putt for birdie coming up. It was a little bit long. Kim Min-sol, pressure's on. 90 meters and needs to climb almost 10. This is sent high up. A little bit of the backspin and the downslope's going to help bring her back. That is well within her range as she tries to restore that 8-under score. Reem needs this at 1.7 to avoid bogey. I'm curious the break here. Right to left. That's how it kind of set up, but with the way she had addressed the ball, I was curious if she had seen something that I hadn't, and I will always defer to the competitor standing on the green. All right, Kim Min-sol on the green at 13, but her advantage is down to 1. Pug Min-ji and So-Gyo Reem, they remain at 6 under par. Pug Min-ji at 2 under for the round. Moon Jung-min 3 under. Yoo So-yeon 2. 4 under today through 17 holes. On pace for a 68 that she'll try to wrap up after the break. And some storytelling to do on Pug Min-ji. It's time. She's very much a contender for this title. We will do that on the other side of this break at Fortune Hills. Welcome back to the final round coverage of the BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship. Sogyo Reem is within one stroke of the lead. She was a little short on her approach to the green, ended up in the rough, and carried that fourth shot. Level with the pin, and it would roll past by 2 and change. Chun So-hee pitched her second at the par 3. This is a good looking putt. With a bit more speed, it might have had a chance. Now Coach Yu, 16 meters, her second on 14. Didn't want to leave it short. That's a good alley-oop to herself. Kim Min-sol, one of the moments she will look back on. If it's a par, she'll wonder what she might have left on the table. 4 meters, it's not a gimme, but it could be colossal. The break was right to left, and there was more of it than she had anticipated. Peng Min-ji, 12 and a half. Birdie's not going to come here. It's long enough now that I have convinced myself that this is real and it's worth talking about with Peng Min-ji and what today could mean. So as she addresses the ball for the par putt, let's do a little storytelling. First though, Sogyo Reem, one of 2 players, 1 back of the lead. This to save par. And just enough to keep it there. She has had her struggles today. They came early, but she has since stabilized and maybe saved the round. Bogeys at 3, 5, 7, and 10. Still looking for her first birdie today. Coach Yu is also over par. Birdies at 6 and 12. Bogeys, pardon me, at 6 and 12, and a birdie at 8. She sends her drive over the boulders in the water and safely into the fairway. It's now a par save for Kim Min-sol to stay at 7 under. If she misses, it will become a 3-player tie for top spot. She should have this one under control. Okay, simple but important. It is a par. She started the round at 7 under. She remains there through now 13 holes. 5 to go. Yu So-yeon too, we can't forget about her. She's on 18 and is 4 under for the round. She is going to set her tournament daily best. Should she find a way to birdie that, it would be a 67 on Sunday. Okay, Peng Min-ji for par. A winner already this season. It was her 20th in her career. No one has ever won 21 times in the history of this tour. And if she wins today, it would be her 4th different major tournament win. Not quite the Grand Slam, but an accomplishment that would endure. It's such a finite number of major winners, pardon me, to do 4 different majors on the tour would really cement herself as probably the greatest of all time, certainly the greatest of her generation. She won here in 22, she won here in 2023. Can she add 2026 to her CV as well? It's one of the many stories, probably the most intriguing, admittedly, that we will follow over the course of the next 75 minutes or so. It's just 5 holes left. Two of them are par 3s, including this one, the 14th. Sogyo Reem was the last in the group to birdie, so she remains in control of the honor. 6 iron. That should stop just before the fringe. Maybe a slide. I'll say that counts. Not bordering on the fringe. That's a green in regulation, and it's not a bad first attempt. Che Bun. She was absolutely nowhere to be seen after Thursday. She was 2 over. Stabilized on Friday. Big day yesterday with the 67. She will be 1 under through 17 after that putt is complete, or through 16, pardon me, heading to 17. Seven iron for Kim Min-sol. What's interesting is this has been the stretch of the course that she's had the most difficulty with. Her best stretch, 7 through 10, where she has had a combined 6 birdies and an eagle. 11 through 16, though, no birdies and 3 bogeys. She's been great on 17 and 18. That will help her should she have any more moments of stumble. It's a very good on after the tee shot over the rocks at the 15th. Iron for Kim Min-ju, and she is unable to stay on the green, and that's a really tricky spot. That corner, a bit of a valley with thick rough. Has raised the level of difficulty by a significant margin. And that is marvelous. It stays exactly at the point where it lands on the green. And for that, Coach Yu deserves her kudos. Back to 18, Yu So-yeon 2. For a round of 67. She ran out of birdies. She's had plenty of them today. Up 17 positions from 21st to 4th. Increasing her payday by a big margin. Hankyung at +3. She hasn't had many of those moments today. Understandably disappointed to drop out of the top 10. Shots like that reminiscent of her performances on Thursday and Saturday, where she had 69s in each of those 2 rounds. Ji-hyun 3 with a birdie to finish. It's an even par 72 today. She finishes the tournament at 2 under after 72 holes. Jae-ban unable to hang on for her par. And drop her back to 4 under even for this Sunday. On top showing for Yu So-yeon 2. Birdie, birdie, birdie to start the day. 2 more on the back 9 as well. Incredible round of golf. Up to 3 under with 3 holes to play. First birdie of the round. 3 bogeys in that initial 14-hole stretch as well. Good recovery from that tough spot. Good up and down to save par. Chung So-hee. That is a miss. She is going to rue. I'll take her down to 14th position. She'll go to +3 for the afternoon. Coach Yu to improve to 6 under par, a little right to left break. It was a great setup. Just her 2nd birdie of the round. They've both come on par 4s. She is once again within 1 stroke of the top spot. So-gyo Reem, 10.7. She could have caught the leader with that putt. It was always unlikely. Dropped in behind the pin by about 9 meters. Interesting hybrid off the tee at 16 for Peng Min-ji. Oh, it's a big time putt. She just needs to manage these final 4 holes. Easier said than done. I fully understand that. Kim Min-sol with the par. Moves on to 15, still ahead by 1. So Gurim, this is for par. Keeps herself within 1. She goes off and hits the trees overhanging the rough above the green. You can see the pine cone drop, and that spells a bit of a spicy situation on the green off the green, I suppose, on the par 3. Arriving on the putting surface with a soft thud, which a Ream 152 needs to get uphill out of the rough. Hits the border of the fringe and goes sailing. So we'll have a fairly welcoming landing point with the fringe. But that is an aggressive pin placement and will be really important to control the speed. Here's Kim Min-ju for the monolithic boulders and the water hazard. Birdied here on Thursday. She'd love to replicate that. Keep herself in contention. Never a good sign when the camera operator can't find it off the tee. You see just how perilous a situation that is after she walks over. In the meantime, Lee So-hyun, after hitting the trees, might have actually got an inadvertent helping hand. So he tries to get up and down for par. If not for those overhanging branches, she might have been into the trees, which is an entirely different conversation altogether. Jay Ream, nice and neat. She zips that chip. Also trying to get up and down for par. 4 holes to go for the major championship. Kim Min-sol. The run-in looks like par 4, par 3, par 4, par 5. And it's a frozen rope. Best drive of the lot. It seems apropos for the leader of this competition. Starting to move to the left. Really good try. Another one. And that one's gonna fall. Unbelievable. Lee Sung-yeon tied for 5th at 5 under. She finishes the round with a very dramatic birdie. She was a spectator like everyone else, hoping and willing the ball to move right at the last moment. Here's Peng Min-ji on the 16th. She can catch Kim Min-sol with a birdie here. She was willing it forward with her club, gesturing, go, go. Another birdie. We are heating up as hour 3 begins. Moon Jung-min had a brilliant back 9. 4 birdies as she rockets up to a tie for 2nd position. Okay, not to be left behind. It's an important putt to keep her in the fight. Approaching down from the fairway, grabs the lip of the fringe for rolling on, staying on the left side. And 6 meters for Kim Min-sol. Pitching wedges the club. 5 yards off the front, 4 yards from the right fringe, the pin today. And pin high is where she lands. We'll have a beautiful look at birdie. You have to think she needs one more, at least. Restore the buffer. She is being chased from many different directions. Ji-won also ends the round with a birdie, just outside of the top 10, 35-37 for a 72 in the final round. just a bit short. Didn't get the carry she needed to get all the way onto the green, and we'll have to wonder just how costly that might end up being. 2 hours in the books, and what a finish we have in store. Kim Min-sol on the green with a great chance at a birdie, which would see her go to 8 under par. Moon Jung-min is officially in the clubhouse with a 68, one back. Pang Min-ji 6 under through 16, Ko Chiu through 15. And the list continues to grow. It is anyone's guess, but right now it remains Kim Min-sol's tournament with less than an hour to play at Fortune Hills. The third and decisive hour. Is there a fourth major championship title in Pang Min-ji's future? She needs at least a birdie. She's going to need to stay right on the same path as Kim Min-sol. She cannot afford to lose any more ground, especially if there is to be a birdie. That's a lovely soft touch with the short game. Still has to make the par putt, but has done a good job. Ko Chiu, one of 4 players at 6 under. It's a 4-iron for her at this 182-meter par 3. She needed to go right. That's where the pin is. unable to keep it on the green. She went on the attack. First putt from the featured group, it's Kim Min-ju. 14.5 meters. A marathon putt. It's always going to be more unlikely than likely that she would be able to carry that great distance. Jay Ream, this is exceptional. What a remarkable shot to set up a sure birdie. It would take her from a T9 to a T6. A 5 under score. Okay, Kim Min-ju, 3.3 meters. This is right in her wheelhouse. This is not just any other putt, though. This has the pressure of the major on her shoulders. She can't win it now, but she can give herself a big assist. For 8 under, Kim Min-ju, get going. Into the bottom of the cup for just her second birdie of the day. The first time this week as well. She has conquered number 15. Exercising some of those bad memories from the bogey back-to-back stretch on Thursday here on 15. So Kim Min-ju now trails by 3, has to have this. We can scratch her name off the contenders with a miss. It's that similar distance, 3 meters, left to right break, up the hill. Oh, over the right edge and stays out. That will be a bogey. She drops to +2 on the day. Her second bogey of the back 9, some subdued, commiserating applause from the gallery. Coach Yu has to go up and down for par at the bare minimum. Just past the fringe, maybe needed a little bit more carry. There's no certainty in that position. Sokyo Reem still without a birdie today, down to the final 3 holes. Peng Min-ji right down the alley trying to attack the pin. Through no fault of her own, she's down by 2. We'll go all the way to the border of the fringe. Excellent putts. That was a tough up and down, but the par is saved by Coach Yu. easiest birdie she'll have this week, thanks in large part to that fabulous setup. She finishes with a 72-hole score of 5 under par. It's a 9-iron for Pae-So-Hyun. 128 meters. Over par for the round, hasn't birdied since the 11th. Very well done. A 4-time winner, she has yet to join the major champion club. I think she's just going to run out of time today, but top 10 performance is a pretty significant milestone. And a big points haul and payday as well. Putting often always is the great tiebreaker when it comes to the final round, and we have seen some huge putts today. And Ji-Hyun, of course, had some lofty expectations. She's had some big moments in this tournament as well. 67 on Friday was basically the reason she made the cut. She's posted 73s twice, including yesterday. And 18. The decider. Sua, not a close call. Only once all tournament long was Yoon Soo-ah able to go under par. It was Friday. She shot a 75 today to finish tied for 39th. 15, of course, is where we just were, and where Kim In-sol just birdied. Jae-Bun from much further distance was forced to settle for par. She went for the aggressive precision shot out towards the right, ends up in the rough. That is not a guaranteed bogey. We have seen a few players get out from there unscathed. Next tee shot at 16. That's the ticket. Pang Min-ji, she knew. She gave up on it. Waves the white flag. She's going to have to settle for par. Comes down to this most important stretch. It's not in the bag, but it's comfortable. Comfortable despite the fact that our leader is in the rough, having missed the green off the tee. We'll get a better sense of the lie in a moment. As we wait for them to walk down to the 16th green, we head to the 17th. Pacer Hyun also unable to solve the riddle. Floated up from the rough. Eyes for the hole. And it got the crowd murmuring and excited. Would have been a euphoric explosion had she holed out. Now Peng Min-ji, 71 holes down, 6 under, tied for second still. She needs a birdie and some luck to keep the dream of 21 alive. What a finish for Yoo Hyun-jo. Almost an eagle. It would have taken her to the top 10. A 71 in the final round. This is Kim Min-sol. Ball needs to get on the brakes here. That's going to be remarkably similar to the putt she just made on 15. Well, this time it will be to avoid a bogey. That was quick. She didn't quite have the same amount of runway to get up and down and slowed. Yam teeing off on 18. 495 meters. Only the par 5 first is shorter. This is Kim Min-ju for a birdie at 4.3 meters. It would return her to 5 under. Starting under the hole. Doesn't break back towards the line until she was well past the cup. Feels like a must-make for Peng Min-ji here on 18. No guarantee that Kim Min-sol is going to make that par putt if she misses and bogeys to go to 7 under. Peng Min-ji birdies here. There is still a chance for her. Chu has struggled off the tee today. Another missed fairway. Trying to find the 17th green from the rough. She's on. And it looks like she's going to stay as well. Her recovery game has been sensational. Even if The driver hasn't always cooperated. The irons and wedges most certainly have. Nice one. Emphatic fist bump from So-Gyo Reem. It took 15 holes and then that big putt to finally get in the birdie column today. She had been +4 until that putt, and she has breathed new life into her chances of contending. She was the leader when the day began. For a couple of hours there, she must have thought like she had bottled it with how Kim Min-sol was playing. There are always so many twists and turns in a round, exponentially more in a tournament. But the run-in on Sunday in the final group is never a linear path. Kim Min-sol to save par, 1.8. Otherwise, this tournament will be blown wide open. Looks like she's giving herself a good amount of distance to the outside right of the cup. Too much. She was fidgeting, standing over the putt. She is going to bogey, and she is certainly not going to rush that putt there. This is how it looked from the other side, down the hill. And I think just too much speed. She put through the break. She knew it was going to come. Aside from a few chirping birds and insects, you could hear a pin drop. Kim Min-sol bogeys. For the second time in the back nine, she drops to 7 under. So-Gyo Reem has catapulted a tie for third to a tie for first, and that opens the door for Peng Min-ji. Her second on the par 5. Runs that out of the fairway too long. Not a particularly challenging bit of rough. I'm wondering if the news had already reached her ears of the bogey. .243 for Pak Bo-gyum. Birdie would take her to an even par score for the round. Started tied for 5th, is currently tied for 9th. Man, oh man, how quickly things can change. Kim Min-sol punished for missing the green off the tee at the par 3. Really, it's down to 5 competitors out of the 123 in the field this week. Ko Chiu is one of them. With a birdie here on 17, she would join the leaders at 7 under. Five and a half meters for birdie. Less than 1 in every 5 of these putts this season. And dives. Spent a lot of time studying the break, and unfortunately for her, she was still fooled by it. She's in a fine position heading to the 18th tee. She could have joined the leaders, and she'll know it.
자.
70 holes down. 17 and 18 remain. 72 might not be enough after that dramatic twist on 16. Fortunately for Sogyo Rim, she is unable to stay in the fairway. Smooth stroke from Kim Min-ju. She also has missed right. Faster she can see a good shot fly, the faster she can put the bogey behind her. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk. 2 bogeys in the last 5 holes after avoiding them for the first 11 on the day. Has provided some late round drama. We will take a break with 2 players at the top of the leaderboard, Sogyo Rim and Kim Min-sol. 2 holes to play to determine a winner. Kim Min-ju, Ko Chiu on 18, within 1. This is going to be a spicy finish. One we can't wait to see how it pans out. The BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship resumes after the break.
멈춰주세요.
Well, from here on out, ladies and gentlemen, every shot is the most important shot. Seogyo-rin Kim Min-sol approaching the 17th green, the penultimate hole of our regulation 72. More may be required. 48 meters only for Peng Min-ji. In her prime, one of the best approachers in the history of the KLPGA Tour. Less than 50 meters with a wedge. My goodness, what a week for Peng Min-ji. Showing the 20-year-olds that she's still got some game and a career's worth. Well over a decade as a professional. Maybe not well over, but definitely a decade, pardon me, as a professional. Learning what it takes to win when the pressure is at its highest. The pressure is very much at its peak right now. First on the 17th green. Kim Min-sol will be next. First, Park Bo-gyum almost was able to reach in two. This is for an eagle if she can get it there. It's a fantastic up. She really had to hit the reset button after the 7th hole. Dropped to +2, 3 bogeys. Since then, she's been bogey free and will likely be coming in with a 34. A birdie here relieves so much pressure. Where can Kim Min-sol put this approach? In a pretty darn good spot. Would have loved about 5 extra meters deep or to the right. But she is in a great spot. And let's face facts as well. The 18th has been not the easiest hole. I think that honor belongs to number 2, but it has been a very birdieable hole, the par 5. A par for either Seogyo-rin or Kim Min-sol can very likely still be enough. Coach Yu might be about to run out of time and run out of opportunities at 6 under. With that approach from Peng Min-ji, likely an eagle required to stay in the hunt. You can only go one shot at a time. Needs 2 big drives and wood shots, and you'll never know. Four birdies already today. 2 of them on the back 9. A 48-meter approach sets Peng Min-ji up for birdie. And why not one more? Whether or not it's enough, what a performance from Peng Min-ji, the 20-time KLPGA winner. She's done her part. She's forced the issue. Now all she can do is watch and wait. "13 meters for Kim Min-ju from the rough. And the hole. Oh, what a shot. Par is a guarantee now. That's a clutch shot with the wedge after a missed hit iron. Out comes the flag. Down goes the par. 7 under, heading to number 18. Park Bo-gyum, that was a gimme. Very impressive mental fortitude today 5 under is where she finishes. Tied for 6th position. Two players left to finish on 17. This is Sogyo Reem. That's a nice setup. That would have been the roar for Peng Min-ji's birdie. A few minutes ago, Ko Chi-yu, her second, just an iron. Advancing fairway to fairway. So far, so good. This could be a tournament winner. Far enough away, she's asked for the flag to stay. Expecting it to move right to left. She'll start this towards the ball marker, and if all goes well, it'll drift in. For the birdie. Not enough. I needed to start that outside the ball marker to have a chance. Recovers from the bogey with a par. Can't help but wonder what must be racing through her mind. It all comes down to 18. The third for Chung So-hee. 137 meters from the fairway. About 6 yards past the pin. Ko Chi-yu. 79 meters. This pin is there to be attacked. Must birdie to stay in the fight. That's gonna be tricky. Left herself with a lot of work to do. 495 meters from tee to green in the mountains of Gyeonggi. The 48th KLPGA Championship comes down to this. Two birdies, we head to a playoff. Two pars, we head to a playoff. Two bogeys, and Peng Min-ji wins. That seems like the most unlikely outcome, of course.
들어가면서 누르지 말아주세요. 네, 알겠습니다.
Sogyo-Reem with the first drive.
Nice. Good.
Every shot will carry with it a lifetime, 2 decades worth of hopes and dreams. Until you've won your first major, it'll always seem like a fairy tale. Does Coach Yu have any magic left in the tank? 7.7, it's a must make. Here it comes. Oh. Gave it absolutely everything she had. But she is not going to claim the title today. Kim Min-sol. Can't say it's her final drive. We don't know if 72 holes is going to be enough here. Oh, off the cart path. Uh-oh. Okay, fortunate bounce back. If anything, it gives her a little bit of help in terms of extra distance. It is not an enviable lie. It's not buried. It's not on the asphalt. She can play that. But that is a classic case of the 72nd hole yips. Who can best manage their nerves? Final drives in regulation anyways. Peng Min-ji, Sogyo-Reem, Kim Min-sol deadlocked at 7 under par. The winner's going to come from those three. Is it a rookie or is it the veteran? The 48th KLPGA Championship. Chung Soo-hee, that was an opportunity to pick up one final birdie. Unfortunately for her, she has to settle for par and she finishes outside the top 10. 4 bogeys on the round, couple of great shots, but lacking the required consistency. Hankyung signed the scorecard.
팬분들은요 기다리고 계세요. 그 저쪽
Worst thing for
그런 것
any
같아요. 그린에 계신 것 같아요.
competitor when it's out of your hands. All you can do is watch. Second shot, fairway to fairway. That was the one we expected to be boring, and I say that affectionately because it was a good drive. Drive into the fairway, iron to take out the biggest remaining chunk. So Gyorim, she leads the points. 37 past Kim Min-sol.
네, 하겠습니다.
So Gyorim, 236 meters. Second shot gets on the dance floor. That's when you can flex your might as a power player.
김윤솔도 이제 아이언으로 지금 아마 기타 탈 좋은 노래
I'm not sure she's going to be able to stay very still in that seat. You want a drama. That's why you come to Sunday on the KLPGA Tour. Second shot. 5 woods. Unbelievable. Onto the fringe. A lot of the extra speed absorbed. She's already won over $1 billion this season. 270 million goes to the winner today. 165 to P2, 120 to P3. A wayward tee shot that hooked onto the cart path, took a big bounce, popped out into the rough. Glancing down the viewfinder, checking the wind, selecting the club. Her caddy's trying to get the cart off the path and out of the way so it's not in danger, nor is it a distraction. Kim Min-sol, 1,761 rookie points gathered on this season. She's number 1 in the K ranking as well, not to mention the money leader at 1.1 billion. .213 meters and a 5-wood, trying to reach in 2. That is disappearing on the other side of the green. We'll try to get a more revealing camera angle. There it is on the fringe, up and down for birdie. The next shot is crucial. One of those two players, should they hoist the trophy, will win for a 4th time this season. I love that the fanatics of the tour are already coming up with nicknames for the rivalry. The Imsol Showdown or the Solim Showdown. Two 20-year-olds who are the future and the present of the KLPGA Tour. Kim Min-sol, the 18th ranked golfer in the world right now, has been on just an unbelievable ascension this year. Coming in off of a 2nd place finish at the Mediheal Hankyung Boat Championship. She's won the McCall Mona Hankyung Open with SBS Golf, and oh yeah, we keep saying this is the 2nd major of the season. She won the 1st. Mercedes-Benz 40th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Played a couple of times on the LPGA Tour as well. Really testing yourself amongst this planet's very best. Meticulously maintained course despite all of the rain this week. The fairways have been narrowed from 25 to 27 meters last year to just 12 to 16. 200 yards longer than last year as well. All this to say, it has been a proper test for the 48th KLPGA Championship. She doesn't reach in 2, but she doesn't really need to when she can stick it like that.
그래서 이걸로 보고 있어. 피.
What a showdown. Three hours of thrills could come down to the next 3 minutes. Fantastic turnout. The gallery that has followed this featured group throughout the day. Hundreds more who have set up shop around the 18th green, watching so many exciting stars coming in. Kim Min-sol watched Sogyo Reem have the last laugh at the Mediheal Hangugo Boat Championship in their last event. Sogyo Reem missed the cut at the Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Absolutely not the case this week. The chip from Kim Min-sol, 16 meters. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, glancing over the edge of the cup. That eagle, that near eagle, surely would have won it.
네, 이제 파이널 라운드 마지막 골 그린이 선수들을 소개해드리겠습니다.
Eyes started to light up in anticipation.
네, 그리고 삼천리 소속의 김민주 프로 소개드립니다. 큰 박수 보내주시죠.
Well, it's a putt that in a few moments' time that will eliminate Peng Minji from contention. 21 will have to wait, and there will be no fourth unique major title. Sogyo Reem with a last-minute study. It looks like the flag is going to stay in the cup. It's a putt for Eagle to win the 48th KLPGA Championship. Ranked number 40 in the world at just 20 years old. Already a winner of the Celtrian Queens Masters, the In-Car Financial Heaven Masters, and last week's Mediheal Hangugo Boat Championship. Trying to add a first major to an almost inexplicable 2026. To win the 48th KLPGA Championship, it started to move back online, but it's short. Now, of course, those putts still need to be made. But it seems like we are headed to a playoff. There's the move. And she knew she left just a little bit off. This is Kim Min-ju for birdie. For a tie for sixth finish in a round of 73. Well done. Birdie finally comes at the end of the day. Some frustration, and understandably so, that the putter just didn't cooperate today. But T6 at a major is an accomplishment in its own right. So now, a couple of two-footers for birdie to send us to a playoff. one or both drop, Pang Min-ji is eliminated. So Rim will putt first. There's the birdie. Really turned up the wick when it mattered most. Birdie, par birdie in the final 3 holes. She knows there's at least a playoff in her future. If Kim Min-sol misses this putt, So Rim has won. Eight under as well. 72 holes, not enough to separate the most exciting, blossoming rivalry on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Kim Min-sol and So Rim will go head-to-head in a playoff to determine today's major champion.
네, 여러분 치열한 접전 속에서 김민솔, 서교림 프로의 연장전이 이곳 18번 홀에서 진행이 되겠습니다. 저희 우승자가 결정될 때까지 이곳 18번 홀에서 계속 진행되니까요. 잠시만 기다려 주시기 바랍니다.
545, 343, 433 535, 533, 444 우리만 불러줄게 546, 353, 544 634, 534, 244 네. 545, 343, 444 535, 535, 434
So some paperwork to do. The 18th hole has cleared. As soon as those scorecards are settled in the golf carts, they will go. And the top 2 players of this 2026 season will go head to head once again. It seemed fated. And now we ask the question, which of those 2 players will be feted, celebrated, as we would say in French. Find your caddy, grab your bag, grab a bottle of water if you want it, and away you go. These 2, they are Korean women's golf right now. And with the way they are operating, it seems like these majors, these big stages, these bright lights are not too much for them. This was remarkable. After hitting the cart path with the drive, a fortuitous bounce into the rough, she would send that all the way to the fringe. And now pulling out for Eagle to win this tournament. Rim a foot or 2 short at the very most. And we are off to hole 73 at Fortune Hills. So here we go then. Razor thin margin for error. Hole 19 of the day. So Gyorim hears the shout of 4. That is ominous. Advantage to Kimi Soul if she can take advantage of the slight opening. We had a 2-hour and 28-minute rain delay yesterday. And despite that, Gyorim was able to take advantage. Kimi Soul had a double bogey on the 3rd shot. That was really it. She put that behind her. Consecutive birdies, 7 and 8, 17 as well. She responded to adversity in a big way. And that trend is continuing. It's advantage to her after the tee shots. With such little, or so little, pardon me, to separate these two athletes this season, I get the sense that one playoff hole might not be enough. The wayward drive. Frame by frame. That's how you hit a golf ball. They make it look so easy. They make it look artful. Couldn't have been anyone else in this playoff situation. This is not perched up in some fairy tale lie. It was a mistake. A wayward drive. She's in the hillside rough. The ball is mostly buried. She cannot afford to mask one mistake with another, so she just needs a simple iron, get back into the fairway, and hope that Kim Min-sol isn't on the green with this next shot. It's not terminal to the tournament if she is, but it makes it significantly harder. Another mistake, this time with the wood. That was incredibly unexpected. It's the pressure getting to her. That reaction says it all. The 5-wood fails at the most important time. You could hear it, the sound of it, just something was off. She actually hits a microphone and kicks back into the rough. Now, it's a short wedge. She can still get up and down for birdie. I'll slow it down. I think she might have topped this. I mean, it's off by a fraction. You're ideally, of course, meeting the grass, sweeping through the blades a little bit, getting under the ball, and launching it up. Just by that millimeter or two, something off in the swing that she's taken some 70-odd times today alone. Kim Sol scoping it out. First approach belongs to Sogyo Reams, 74 meters from the fairway. Needs to be close. I'd say that counts. Absolutely remarkable. When you're up at the crack of dawn, heading to the course to practice, your 100th wedge shot of the day at the range for the 60th day in a row. You dream of these moments so that when you get to them, you're not overawed. You just swing the club. Kim Sol already had her first major championship this season, and in the story arc of this rivalry, it would be fitting if today was Sogyo Reams' turn. Now, you don't become a major champion accidentally. Kim Sol has ridden the waves of adversity and come out swinging and on top. Her response, she's stuck on the fringe. In all likelihood, that chip or that putt needs to fall or this tournament is over. Even the playoff has been a roller coaster. It was advantage Kim Sol off the tee. Her second hooked over into the rough, and her shot from the rough was well short. She'll study as much as she can, of course. The odds stacked so heavily against her. In so many sports, you hear the cliches about these tournaments being a marathon, not a sprint. Whether it's football, a baseball season, an actual marathon, of course. But a tournament where it's nearly 300 shots to win, the peaks and valleys. She's not going to putt from all the way back here. She was between two wedges. She's made her decision. 15 meters. Chip in, or she's likely finishing as the runner-up. Down to the wire. She's kept it interesting. Out
여러분
comes the
지금
pin.
서결인 프로 그리고 김민솔 프로가 다시 그린 위로 올라서고 있습니다. 챔피언 자리를 위해 명경기를 펼치고 있는 우리 프로들에게 아낌없는 박수 부탁을 드립니다.
Well, even if she wasn't slightly further, it's the right thing to do to finish first. She needs to make this putt and hope for a miss. If she misses, well, this tournament is 101% over. It's Kim Min-sol, a three-time winner, a major champion this season for par. And all she can do is watch. The most nervous she will be for a putt of less than a meter in her life. '20-year-old Sogyo Reem to win the 48th KLPGA Championship. For birdie on the first playoff hole. She's a major champion. And this dreamlike season continues to reward her. A congratulatory hug amongst rivals. And the realization of what she's just accomplished sinking in. Sogyo Reem has won the 48th KLPGA Championship. What an incredible week at Fortune Hills. Just about the ultimate redemption arc after missing the cut at the 40th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. She's held it back. She's tried to stay composed for as long as possible, but understandably, the wave of feelings has just crushed So-Gyo-Rim. She's going to go to the top of the money list. She was already on top of the points. It is a 4th win this season alone and a major title. So few will ever be able to understand all the emotions, all the memories, all the people on her journey she's thinking of right now. What a remarkable golf shot to get up and down from the fairway on the par 5 for birdie. Pin high. And all Kim Min-sol could do was watch. She has passed the baton on. Last year's rookie champion, Kim Min-sol, who still has to finish the season out, but has almost already secured enough points to do so. And So-Gyo-Rim, a 4th professional victory. 4th in 2026 alone, and a major champion. Just an absolutely incredible story and an incredible finale to this week's championship. We had to go through storms, delays, and a 73rd hole, but So-Gyo-Rim has won the 48th KLPGA Championship presented by BC Card and Hankyung. That's it for us this week. What a thrill, what a roller coaster. We thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week from Sunning Point for the 15th KG Ladies Open. We're staying in Gyeonggi, but we are heading south down to Sunning Point. I've been Adam Jenkins. So long, and thanks for watching the 48th KLPGA Championship.
네, 안녕하세요. 감사합니다. 네, 오늘 진짜 초반부터 쉽지 않은 플레이가 되었는데 정말 반은 포기하고 친 것 같습니다. 근데 이렇게 마지막에 버디 쳐서 연장까지 갈 수 있는 게 저한테는 너무 큰 자신감으로 올라왔고 그 속에서도 버디 친 게 정말 대단한 것 같습니다. 제 스스로. 네. 네. 그걸 보고도 저는 그냥 흔들리지 말자 이 생각으로 그냥 편안하게 페어웨이 갖다 놓고 거기서 나도 버디 칠 수 있다 이런 마인드로 레이아웃 한 것 같아요. 그래서 민솔이 전혀 신경 쓰지 않았던 것 같아요. 저도 잘 모르겠어요. 그냥 되게 복잡한 마음이고 지금 너무 얼떨떨하고 그리고 초반에 제가 너무 경기가 안 풀려서 진짜 너무 속으로도 답답하고 화가 났는데 그 옆에서 또 캐디 오빠가 괜찮다, 기다리자 이런 말을 해줬거든요. 그래서 그런 말 들으면서 그냥 플레이했던 것 같습니다. 잘 자고 잘 먹고 네. 네. 오늘 사실 첫 홀부터 18번 홀까지 안 떨린 순간이 없었고 매 순간 계속 손도 바들바들 떨고 마음도 바들바들 떨고 쳤는데 막상 연장전에 가니까 그 긴장감보다는 약간 설레임으로 좀 가득 차 있어서 좋은 결과 나왔던 것 같아요. 네, 저 일단 지금 미국에 계실 텐데 아마 TV로 보고 계실 저희 이만득 회장님 어제 전화를 했는데 침착하게 너무 욕심부리지 말고 내 플레이 하라고 말씀해 주셨거든요. 그렇게 했더니 정말 값진 우승한 것 같아요. 이만득 회장님 진심으로 감사드리고 그리고 항상 챙겨주시고 또 많은 도움 주신 저희 부모님 감사드리고 그리고 오늘 삼천리 임직원분들 그리고 저희 팬분들 많이 오셨거든요. 응원 덕분에 우승할 수 있었던 것 같습니다. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
네, 이동하시겠습니다. 네, 이동하시겠습니다.
대회 주최사죠. 한국경제신문 조일훈 사장님, 여러분 힘찬 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 고맙습니다. 역시 대회 공동 주최사입니다. BC카드 김영우 사장님 소개드립니다. 따뜻한 박수 보내주시죠. 다음은 대회 공동 주최사인 KLPGA 김순희 수석 부회장님, 여러분 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 그리고 역시 멋진 대회 코스를 제공해 주신 포천힐스 컨트리클럽 송광림 대표 이사님 함께해 주셨습니다. 네, 고맙습니다. 자, 그럼 지금부터 시상을 시작할 예정이고요. 특별상 그리고 본상 순으로 진행이 되겠습니다. 자, 먼저 코스 레코드 시상이 있겠는데요. 포천힐스 컨트리클럽의 코스 레코드, 지난 2025년 BC카드 한경 레이디스컵 1라운드에서 김민솔 프로가 기록한 10언더 62타였습니다. 올해는 아쉽게도 그 기록을 경신한 프로가 나오지는 않았는데요. 다음 대회에서 더 멋진 기록으로 소개드릴 수 있기를 바라보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이어서 홀인원 시상이고요. 이번 대회는 4번, 6번, 14번 그리고 16번 홀까지 총 4개의 홀이 홀인원 홀로 지정되어 있었습니다. 부상으로는 렉스필의 명품 침대와 또 세라잠의 파우제 M8 핏 그리고 다날의 비트 로봇 커피 머신 그리고 HS 효성 더클래스의 벤츠 E200 AMG 라인 차량 그리고 바이버의 명품 시계 구매 포인트 2천만 원이 준비되어 있었는데요. 이번 대회 홀인원 역시 아쉽게도 올해는 만나지 못했습니다. 내년에는 이 홀인원의 주인공들을 만날 수 있기를 역시 기약해 보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 그럼 많은 분들이 기다리고 계실 지금부터는 우승자 시상이 있겠습니다. 우승자에게는 우승 재킷, 트로피 그리고 우승 상금 2억 7천만 원이 수여가 되겠습니다. 자, 그럼 오늘의 주인공을 소개해드리죠. BC카드 한경 제48회 KLPGA 챔피언십 우승자는 280다 8언더파를 기록한 서교림 프로입니다. 여러분 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 이번 대회 연장전까지 멋진 경기 보여주셨는데요. 다시 한번 힘찬 박수 보내주시죠. 자, 그럼 한국경제신문 조일훈 사장님께서 우승 재킷을 먼저 전달을 하시겠습니다. 자, 가운데로 자리를 해주시고요. 네, 사장님 가운데로 오시겠습니다. 저희가 재킷을 전달을 드리겠습니다. 네, 재킷을 입혀주시고요. 진심으로 축하드립니다. 큰 박수 한번 보내주시죠. 네, 이제 정면을 봐주시고요. 저희 사진 촬영을 진행토록 하겠습니다. 오늘 우승 재킷이 정말 잘 어울립니다. 큰 박수 한번 보내주시죠. 네, 좋습니다. 자, 이제 트로피 전달이 있겠습니다. KLPGA 김순희 수석 부회장님 부탁드립니다. 네, 오늘의 빛나는 트로피를 전달해 주시기 바랍니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 오늘 우승을 진심으로 축하드립니다. 자, 이번에는 상금 수표 전달이 있겠습니다. BC카드 김영우 사장님, 네, 가운데로 모시겠습니다. 네, 상금이 전달이 되겠습니다. 네, 다시 한번 박수 보내주시죠. 네, 좋습니다. 자, 이제 마지막으로 우승자 부상과 꽃다발 전달을 위해서 포천힐스 컨트리클럽 송광림 대표 이사님께서 함께 수고를 해주시겠습니다. 부상으로는 세라잠의 마스터 V9 그리고 렉스필의 명품 매트리스 GT10SS 그리고 알고케어의 영양제 기기 E1 구매 포인트 300만 원과 스노우큐의 슬러시 냉장고 준비가 되어 있습니다. 예쁜 꽃다발도 함께 전달해 주셨는데요. 네, 좋습니다. 정면 봐주시고요. 자, 사진 촬영으로 오늘을 기록해 보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 프로님 진심으로 축하드립니다.